As we prepare for the launch of Altitude Church on September 19th of this year, we are talking a lot about culture. Culture is the deepest force in any organization. One aspect of our culture here at Altitude that we're looking at is the idea that unreasonable generosity is where we begin. But what does that actually look like? It starts with our tithes, our personal giving, but if generosity is going to be the culture of the church, then the church itself has to set an example. And so one of the ways that we're doing that in this season is that we have committed to tithe on the sale of our buildings and properties. Through that, we are seeing some incredible things happen. You heard Pastor Steve on Easter Sunday talk about how we are blessing 100 kids through Children of Promise, helping to create the GAP Fund that allows for those kids who are in between or without sponsors to continue to receive blessings of food, education, discipleship, and healthcare. That was just the beginning. We're also investing in several different church planting organizations, one of which, Trellis, actually gave us some seed money a couple of years ago that led to what is now becoming Altitude Church. As a part of our giving back to God from what He's given to us through the sale of these buildings, we're actually giving back double what Trellis gave us so that we can continue to see new life-giving churches be planted across our country and across the world. We're also giving to some church plants here in Denver and across the state to help people encounter a Jesus experience, several of which being in the Spanish language, so that people who that's the language of their heart can find Jesus in that way. In addition to that, we're also investing in a church in Sri Lanka that has been going for decades but has never been able to find that permanent foothold. They're going to be purchasing a piece of land that they can eventually build their first permanent church facility location on, and their excitement is palpable. I can't wait for Steve to share more with you later on. These are just some of the ways that we are giving back. We're also going to be sharing more coming up about how we're going to be investing in this city and people around us during the next phase of our launch plan. Unreasonable generosity is where we begin. And so I want to invite you into that culture of unreasonable generosity. Each week when you've seen these vision videos, we've shared 3 things that we're asking you to do. First, pray. Pray for Altitude Church, that as we continue to see God move in our midst, that we would continue to be a people who are on fire for what He's doing. Second, I ask you to support, giving back to God from the first and best of what He has given to you. Because ultimately, while these buildings are a part of our story right now, the ongoing ministry of this church is 100% supported through your faithful giving. And third, I'm going to ask you to give of your time and your passion and energy as a part of the launch team. I really believe that God is going to see this city transformed by hope. If we're going to be a part of that, we are going to be a people defined by unreasonable generosity. Because our culture is such that unreasonable generosity is just the beginning.